Hey everyone, and welcome back to the iHearthU.com King of the Hill. I'm Artosis, he is Doa, and
That's right.
Finally we get to dual cast one of these
Finally. We have no idea if this is going to last more than 1 week, but we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully it does.
Between us, we travel too much, I have to say.
I agree. It's time to stay in Korea for a little while and make this like consistent.
I would like nothing more, but getting past that, let's talk about what happened last week. We had Alchemixt win again, another two-time champion now, taking out Kit Kats.
And he plays really well. Like, I've got a feeling out of the people that have been two-time champions, I really like Alchemixt's chances to become like one of our only three-time champions, the second one after Savitz, actually. So I really like his style. I think he's shown he can play a lot of different things. I mean, he played Priest his first time on the show. He played a lot of Hunter his second time, and a lot of aggro in general his second time on the show that I casted last week. And so he really has a wide range. I think he's a very good player. I would not be surprised at all to see him take this one.
Yeah, you know what? I do have to agree with you. It was pretty impressive before how he's played. But.
Okay.
The guy he's playing against is someone that I deeply respect as a Hearthstone player. It is Darkwonyx. He is from Team Mana Grind, and he's one of the better players, I think, in all of Europe. Really known, especially for some of his warrior decks. And he's a very smart guy. He builds a lot of decks. He actually works closely with Doggy House's Nyx on making decks, and he has phenomenal play. So I think that this is actually going to be one of our better King of the Hills overall.
All right, well, I hope so. I mean, we've got an interesting lineup to begin things with. We've got a pretty typical Zoo Warlock deck coming out of Alchemixt.
And in fact, it looks like, I think card for card, this is exactly Nimsh's Zoo deck.
I'm pretty sure,
from the Sea Story Cup. I'm pretty certain of it, looking at it, because I remember Nimsh showed me his deck list, and I was like, oh wow, one Leper Gnome? That's kind of weird, right?
And if there's two cards that say Nimsh, basically. It's Amani Berserker and Doomguard. Like, if you see those in a Warlock deck, you're like, Nimsh, right?
Exactly. So
generally, especially the Amani Berserkers.
Indeed. No one really plays those except for Nimsh. So, as we saw at the Sea Story Cup, this is an insanely powerful deck. So it definitely has good chances against pretty much anything.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, that's kind of the hallmark of Warlock aggro, right? Is that it's good against pretty much everything. It's not like super good against one type of deck, but it's just broadly good, you know?
Indeed.
Yeah, good first deck to start with.
It is, but I like the choice of Darkwonyx on what he started with here. He's starting with a Druid, and it's a little bit different from what people are used to because of this one card, Mark of the Wild.
That's interesting. I mean, that's a deck that I've included in a lot of my kind of like joke aggro Druid decks for a while. I like to put on Angry Chicken and things like that. But it's not something you see in a lot of competitive decks. I mean, I think it's a good card. I'm actually a little bit surprised that we haven't seen it more in the past, and I think we will see it more in the future. It gives a creature 2/2 and taunt for 2. That seems like a good value to me, but we just haven't seen a lot of it.
That is very true, but it's a card that Darkwonyx likes, and I do have to say, actually, I just played an IEM this past weekend, got second place, and I played 2 Mark of the Wild in my Druid deck, and it was specifically because I figured I would play against Nimsh in the finals, and I wanted to be able to kill him with this deck, his Zoo deck specifically. This card is very, very good against that because it has no hard removal. The +2/+2 and taunt that you give to something is super, super useful in this deck.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, aside from that, it's a pretty standard Druid deck, and I think it is a good matchup against this Warlock. So we'll see what happens. This one could go either way, but I mean, who's going to get the momentum in game number 1? That's the question.
That's true, and it's very important because both these decks are going to be fine against anything. These are like the 2 starting classes. I think everyone's basically agreed at this point that Warlock and Druid do fine. Just you can always play them against any deck, and they don't have like a real hard counter. So should be a good one. Let's go ahead and jump into game number 1. Okay, here we go. Down at the bottom we have Darkwonyx, the Druid player. Up at the top, going to be Alchemixt. And looking at these opening hands, it's pretty terrible for Darkwonyx.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, Alchemixt had a pretty decent draw, and Darkwonyx, you don't want to see that Golden Cairn in the first hand. And yeah, I think that'd be a smart idea to just pass the turn and then use that coin to bring out the Shattered Sun Cleric next turn, I would imagine, but we will see. A little bit of damage onto the Voidwalker, but it doesn't make a bit of difference.
No, not really, and do have to agree. Probably going to throw out that Shattered Sun Cleric, but this hand of Darkwonyx, I'm feeling bad for him. Whenever you draw Karn and Black Knight against an aggro deck, these are like literally two of your latest game cards. Only Cenarius is really more late game. I guess Ancient of Lore, but you know, I mean, that's not a very strong draw at all.
You know, I was playing a game the other day on one of my other shows, and I had a situation similar to this, where I had a lot of late game cards in my hand, and I had to explain to them, like, look, really, it's like I have a 2-card hand right now.
Yeah.
You know, I actually need to do these draw plays that I wouldn't normally do with this amount of cards because I actually have less than it looks like. And that's the situation for Darkwonyx as well.
And in fact, looking at his hand now, he has 2 cards in hand basically. The Black Knight, the Karn, the Savage Roar, and the Ancient of Lore are all very useless at this point. Like,
pretty much.
He has to have a pretty big board for Savage Roar to really do anything.
Yeah.
He has to, you know, if you play a Karn Bloodhoof against a Warlock deck, you better be in the lead because he's a slow card meant to play against control.
Well, you better have something to give it taunt too. I mean, because otherwise they're just going to walk right around it, and it's going to take them forever to clear your side. So, Shattered Sun Cleric comes in, and it's already looking like a pretty scary board. And the thing is there's only one minion with 1 health there, so it's kind of swipe-proof as well, especially if you look at the Amani Berserker out there as well, too. You kind of have to target him if you're going to swipe.
Well, what is he going to hit here with this Keeper?
I think that's the best you can do right now.
It is. And next turn, a swipe is going to help him to really clean up the board, but still, the momentum is really on Alchemix's side.
Ooh, if that Defender of Argus gets played, though, you know, will a swipe really help at this point? It's kind of debatable. Well, if he doesn't play Defender, I think he's a lot weaker than he would have been.
That's true. He's got to watch out for swipe, but you know what? Playing this guy, this Abusive Sergeant, on his other Abusive Sergeant and take down the 2-4 isn't
that's a good
too
point,
bad.
too. Yeah, that's true. You can see him making that decision. I mean, I think if he knew the swipe was in Darkwonyx's hand, he'd probably play the Defender, but at this point it's good to just get that board clear done. And that's the thing with this Warlock aggro deck, is that because it's a little bit more mid-rangey, it's not 100% aggro, you do need to think about clearing minions sometimes and not just going for the face.
It can be very board control oriented, that's for certain.
Totally.
And I think he actually just made the perfect play there to go for a life tap. He knows that swipe might be in his hand. He knows that Darkwonyx has played so little in the early game that he has to have something there.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you look at that hand from Alchemix's side and you're like, alright, he's got 7 cards right now. He has to have something that deals with my board. Like, something has to do well against it. But, you know, we know it's not that great for Darkwonyx. Again, swipe, not that useful. He'd still be taking like a minimum of 5 damage next turn, even if he swiped the Berserker.
God.
And I think Azure Drake is a good play here. You get the draw. Sunfury Protector is going to be helpful next turn, and it's something that your opponent kind of needs to deal with too. So it's a little bit like removal if you think about it. But down at 17 health, like, he is very vulnerable to burst at this point too.
He might actually just skip even killing that off. I mean, he could play the Defender of Argus to help kill it off as well. By giving it +1/+1 to that Flame Imp. But,
I think that wouldn't be a bad play.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. And the one thing that's kind of funny is Black Knight might come in useful if he does something like that.
Yeah.
But wow, we really shouldn't have used Darkwonyx as the bottom. He flips his hand way too much.
Yeah, that's true.
He's going to actually play this Wolf, and that's actually a really good move because he's going to get additional damage all over the place.
Yep, and he played it well. He did everything in the right order, so he got the extra damage on the Voidwalker, and now only 9 health for Darkwonyx left in game number 1. And another Shield Bearer, I mean, yeah, he's going to have 6 mana for Black Knight, but I think it's a little bit too late here, man. I mean, we'll see. He can get some taunts out on the board this turn because he's got that Sunfury Protector, but just not a lot of good options. No. Well, really no good options. I think I'm just going to say he's dead right now, even if he does get the taunt.
Like, he's got to do this. This is the only move he has, is to make that a taunt and kill off the Wolf. But I can't imagine that mattering in this game. This already is looking so over. His start was just way too slow. If he had like 19 health right now, I'd be like, oh, you know what? He's totally fine. He's got a lot of late game. We're in the late game. He has a lot of mana.
Yep.
But as is, look at this hand from Alchemixt. Even if his whole board gets cleared, 2 Knife Jugglers.
I know, right?
And then, of course, you have Defender of Argus with Argent Squire, which is a great way to recover a destroyed board.
Uh-huh.
Oh, man. It's a tough spot.
It's not looking good. I mean, the one nice thing for Darkwonyx is that there's no really efficient way. He's going to hope for a hit onto the Ancient of Lore here so that he can kill it with one of his 3 attack minions. Oh, and he gets it! Wow. Oh, man. Super lucky.
Well, super well done as well.
Wow.
Brings him down to just 4. Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, Wrath is
In
not
fact,
going
if
to be
that
too
knife
helpful.
had hit him in the face, that was lethal, so...
That is true, yeah.
That's kind of funny.
Well, I mean, he still would have gone through the taunt, I suppose, but...
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
he
that's
still had
true.
to wait, yep.
Never mind. I'm crazy.
It's okay, you're a bit jet lagged. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine.
yeah. So, that's...
I think that's
What do you-
that's pretty much GG. I mean, he
4
can.
health? I don't think so, buddy.
You can't swipe. You can't really Savage Roar enough.
You simply
to
can't
win
clear
this.
the board enough. It's
No, you
just
can't, yeah.
impossible.
Because Savage Roar, I mean, in order to clear enough, he'd have to attack with himself, you know, and obviously you can't do that at 4 health.
If he
so.
swipes the Amani and goes Wrath on... No, that's still way too much damage.
yeah.
That's still 3 damage on board. That's like the best he can do is bring it down to 3 damage on board.
Yeah.
Gonna go ahead and draw a card because that's smart.
The thing is there's another Knife Juggler coming next turn as well too.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's going to be probably more damage to the face, even if he does manage to clear all this, you know, which he does. All right, so there's
Well-
that. Yeah, just Knife Juggler and roll the dice. I say, you know, I mean.
Well, yeah, I mean, it doesn't even matter at this
Yeah.
point.
Oh well,
Even
Leroy
draws.
helps too. Yeah, there you go.
It's pretty gold decks, by the way. Alchemixt has like all
I
the
know.
gold cards.
I've got a gold Murloc deck now. It's fun. It's fun.
All right, so Alchemixt takes game number 1 against Darkwonyx, kind of due to a 4-drop.
Yep.
All right, so kind of a tough draw there from Darkwonyx.
Yeah.
You know, that happens every now and then. You get a bunch of your late game stuff in your hand. But to be fair, the way he constructed the deck, it's definitely meant to play much better against like a slower, more controlly deck because he's playing like, for instance, the Black Knight.
Mhm.
He's playing Cenarius as well. He was playing Azure Drake. He was playing a lot of the slower cards that aren't going to work as well against an aggro deck like Zoo. So,
Yeah.
you know, part his fault is part luck. That's the way
That's
the cookie
Hearthstone
crumbles.
in a nutshell, right? If you
It
lose a
is.
game, it's usually part your fault and part luck. You
Yeah,
know.
oftentimes.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the deck he's decided to bring out here. Now, he's chosen Shaman, and I think that Shaman against Zoo is a fair matchup either way.
Yeah, generally.
It's pretty even.
Generally, when I'm on the ladder and I'm playing Warlock, as I often do, Shaman is one of the matchups where I'm like, uh-oh, like I'm
Yeah.
a little bit worried going into this one, and
They
you know,
get a
you
good
can
lightning storm off, and
Exactly,
you're like,
yeah. You can still beat it, but
Yeah.
there's scenarios where they just crush you, you know? So I feel like it's a little bit riskier than some of the other matchups for Warlock, but not by a whole lot, but just a little bit.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
still, I don't think it's like Shaman favored in my opinion.
No, I wouldn't
and
say that.
Looking at this Shaman deck in particular, I don't think that it's Shaman favored, but I think it goes either way, so not a bad choice.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at this deck, because this deck is a weird Shaman deck. This is very, very different.
Yeah. Wow.
So, first off, of course, Nat Pagel out for another Mana Tide. That's
Yeah.
something
For
very
Shaman,
common.
that makes sense. You know, why would you keep Nat Paglin now when you can just put in a second Mana Tide? Yeah.
And looking at some other things, for instance, he plays 1 Lava Burst.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to make it really good against more control-y decks. Against this deck, it could be useful.
Yeah, I mean, this is like kind of taking that Burst Shaman deck that we've seen like Savitz and other people run and taking it to the extreme, you know? He's got Lava Burst, he's even got Leroy still in there,
Yeah,
which most Shamans have taken out now.
He's got Leroy, and he's got a Wind Fury, which normally you're going to
Yeah.
see those two together, but he also has Alakir, which is... That part is a little bit uncommon, because normally you either run Wind Fury or Alakir,
Yep.
because running both of these and a Leroy... You could have up to 3 completely dead cards in your hand in the beginning of the game.
Well, oftentimes when you see the Wind Fury in a deck, you'll see no Leroy, no Alakir, and you'll see 2 Argent Commanders added in instead.
Yeah.
That's generally what you see. But this
Indeed.
time, you know, like I said, he's kind of gone like full on with the burst, like trying to get as much as possible. But I think in this case, yeah, we do have a little bit of redundancy, and I don't think it's quite as efficient as the other way I've seen some Shaman decks run, but it still could certainly work. It's
Yeah.
not bad. It just seems a little bit off the off the beaten path, I guess you could say.
You're right, and if you look also with 2 Chillwind Yeti, I think I see what the point of this deck is. This is a deck that, like, if you bring this against another Shaman, or you bring
Yeah.
this against a Druid, just basically something a little bit slower, it's going to do pretty well, because you're going to keep that pressure on, you have a lot of great removal, you have multiple really quick win conditions in the form of Alakir, and then Wind Fury with Leroy, or even
Yeah.
a Fire Elemental that gets left on the board. So, kind of an interesting deck. Definitely different from what I'm used to seeing now. So
Yeah, a little bit. Well, we'll see how it matches up against Alchemixt and see if he can tie up the series 1-1, or will Alchemixt jump out to a 2-0 lead.
Alright, here we go. I've never seen a hand so bad in my entire life as what
Wow.
Alchemixt has.
Yeah, no kidding, man.
GG!
At
We may
least-
as well just skip this.
At least he got a Voidwalker. I mean, he's got something out, but yeah, that is pretty awful for an aggro deck. He draws another Voidwalker. Power Overwhelming. None of this really helps
This
him.
is, like, this hand is the worst thing ever.
It actually is.
He actually has Leroy.
It's the 3 most expensive cards in his deck in hand 1.
And
In
Power
in turn
Overwhelming,
one,
which
yeah.
you don't even want to see. Like,
Yep.
this is actually, I feel so, well, I feel bad for Alchemist. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's a bad hand, but you know what? We see bad hands. We've seen some bad hands played against him as well, so.
Yeah, well, he's going to have to draw really well
Yeah.
to come out of this one. We'll see what he gets. It's
Luckily,
not...
he's Warlock. He can draw 2 cards a turn.
Yeah, that's true. Now, he decided to... Okay, yeah, playing that second Voidwalker. All right. Shattered Sun Cleric, you know, what do you think about the play on the Voidwalker with that? Do you think it's a little bit too risky?
No, I think I would play absolutely any card that I draw at this point.
Yeah, exactly. So I would have played that Shattered Sun Cleric
Well,
personally.
he
but...
life tapped to get it.
Oh, he got it first, and then he life tapped and got the...
Yeah, you're right. Oh, actually, no, then.
He life tapped and got the wolf.
I
He got the
see.
dire wolf from the life tap.
Yeah,
And then he played the Voidwalker, yeah.
If he had done that, then
Then he would
he
have
could have lost everything, or no. Well,
He would have a 3-2 on,
it would
on the
still
board.
die to the axe, I guess, is the problem.
Yeah, he would have done 1 more damage and had a 3-2 on the board, though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's debatable, but
Yeah.
either way, it's a tough hand. I mean, the thing is, when you get a bad hand like that, sometimes you kind of go on autopilot and start just playing things without really
Sure.
thinking your turn through.
I think it's okay for him to like draw a lot of cards early in the game while Shaman is a bit slow and see if he can make something happen.
Yeah, the second Voidwalker does give him that opportunity, I guess.
Yeah, he's not gonna like take any quick damage here or anything, and
Yeah.
so he's gonna continue to draw, and I think that's right. Probably play this Direwolf Alpha and
Yep.
maybe just clear for a bit, just play the long game.
Yeah, I would definitely clear the totem. Whenever I'm playing a aggro warlock against shaman, I actually really prioritize killing totems because even if it's not because every totem is bad for you. Like
Yeah.
there's no real reason to leave any of the totems out on the board because they can all do bad things combined with the other shaman cards. You know, like even if it's a 1/1 attacking totem, you know, if they do something like Lightning Storm next turn and it comes 1 damage away from killing one of your minions, then they kill it with your totem. So you really have to kill every totem they put out.
So true. When you're playing a board control style, that's you have to. I mean, if you're playing a hunter deck, obviously you're not going to, but anything else, man, and it's pretty important.
Oh, Earthshock. Okay, he's going to take down the wolf.
Yeah, very smart move there.
Yep, makes sense.
Getting rid of the wolf, gaining some more board position for Darkwonyx.
Yeah. Alright, so 5 mana. He's got a lot in his hand. Do you Doomguard this turn? I actually kind of like Doomguard. I actually, you know, as crazy as this sounds, I actually like the Doomguard because you've got a really full hand and getting a 5/7 on the board is just so good right now.
I would kill the Unbound, I think, with this plus Abusive.
Yeah, you could with the Doomguard and still have a 5/5. Like,
yeah,
I mean,
that's true. That is true.
He's gonna do it with the Shattered Sun Cleric, I guess.
And you know what? He's committing an awful lot to the board here. I think we're going to see a Lightning Strike this next turn.
And this is another reason why I personally would have went with the Doomguard, because it kind of is sort of a counter, quote-unquote, to a lot of Shaman's mid-game removal, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. He decided to just try to flood the board, get something out there. I mean, the thing is that it is true that the longer the game goes on, the less valuable the creatures he's playing are, so it's better to get them out early as well. So, I think the choice he made is perfectly fine, but I would go with the Doomguard because I like to be aggressive.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, but here, if you look at it, right, his opponent's at 5 mana. If he plays a lot on the board, he either is getting a lot of damage in, or a Lightning Storm, or a Feral Spirits is coming out. Now, either one of those are going to mana lock him for turn 6, which is the most important turn as a Shaman, and that means he can't play a Fire Elemental or an Argent the next turn. Now, he's of course going to coin that out, but that means that the next turn playing Doomguard would be even a bigger problem for him, and all he's going to lose is some of these other expensive cards that are hard to play.
That's true enough. Well, we'll see what he does.
Look here, he can actually go like Power Overwhelming plus a Doomguard here, and I think that well, actually, he's starting to get a lot of options, to be honest.
I wouldn't play the Doomguard now because you've got a lot of stuff that I think, like you said, gives him a lot of options. So now I think you kind of have to save the Doomguards. I think the Power Overwhelming on the probably one of his 2/1s obviously would be the ideal way to get rid of that Fire Elemental. And then you've got, a couple other things to strengthen your board.
Well, looks like Power Overwhelming going to go down on this Voidwalker.
Yep.
And going to be able to take down that guy very nicely.
Alright, yeah, buffing the minion with Divine Shield, always a good idea.
It's kind of funny, this is starting to work out for him.
Yeah, I mean, he's still vulnerable to that Lightning Storm next turn.
Yeah.
But he'll still have
Oh, he has Earth Shock as well, so he could actually take that out with that.
He could clear the board then, yeah.
But unfortunately, if he uses both of those, he can't do something like a Mana Tide Totem, which is a little bit rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I would consider doing something like Lightning Storm Mana Tide.
Yeah.
Although
I do like that turn because it means that your opponent would have to use at least one more card to get rid of the Mana Tide Totem. And yeah, Mortal Coil is probably an Alchemixt deck. I believe he's running, what, like one?
I think he's running 0 here because
really?
it's Nimsh's version.
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure Nimsh ran none, and
okay.
I think if I recall correctly, he played 1 Power Overwhelming and 2 Soulfires as his early spells.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think I remember seeing that now.
Low cost mana spells at least.
Alright. But Darkwonyx doesn't know that.
No,
so
of course.
Most Warlocks still do run Mortal Coil, so I'd be a little bit worried about it, but I like the Lightning Storm into Mana Tide.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think the Earth Shock with Lightning Storm and playing Blood Mage is fine, because Blood Mage will just kind of cycle through, probably. The thing is, getting a little bit, overloaded is always a little bit rough. You do have to go for Lightning Storm this turn, though. I think we can agree on that, at least.
Yeah, definitely.
And not with Lava Burst.
He may actually, well, this is a little bit crazy, but he may want to just Earth Shock this turn and then play Thalnos, and then next turn go Leroy Lightning Storm.
Yeah, that's kind of
that would be a little bit, yeah.
I feel like it brings him a little bit too low.
Yeah, you would take too much damage for sure.
So will he go with the Earth Shock? Okay, he's going to go Mana Tide.
I think that is the best play.
Yeah, we're not too confused about that, I would say. And he draws a Hex, which actually is probably going to be very useful for the next turn.
Yeah, I would say so. Now, this is kind of a rough hand for Alchemixt, because you can't really play either the Doom Guards. I think he's going to have to go with Defender of Argus and probably Life Tap here, because anything else kind of gives his opponent a pretty strong board position.
Yeah, oh god, that draw makes the Defender so good!
Yep, that is huge.
That's perfect draw off that Life Tap.
Yep.
And you know what? Alchemixt, despite a terrible starting hand, has gotten himself into quite a nice position.
Well, that's the strength of this Warlock deck, too, is that, you're going to have time to draw early on where their board clear is not going to be as useful, and then if you play your cards right, you're going to have stuff that's pretty strong versus that board clear, and that's what he's got. But, yeah, drawing that Argent Squire was possibly game-ending, probably game-ending.
Let's see what Darkwonyx can do from here, though, because he's got Earth Shock, so he can easily remove one of these big taunt guys.
Yep, that is true.
That's a very useful card against any sort of Argent Squire buffs.
Unfortunately, he doesn't have much beyond that. I mean, he's got Hex, but the thing is, he really wants to play that Azure Drake. He's like 1 mana away from a really good turn.
Well, that's the problem with Overload.
You pay
get
for
in
it.
These positions where you have like that Azure Drake. Imagine if he wasn't overloaded. He'd have a phenomenal turn.
Yep, he certainly would. So, Totem and Thalnos.
Yeah, and then he's going to Earth Shock as well.
Yep, I would imagine. Yeah. Doesn't necessarily need Thalnos for that, but the card draw is going to be pretty great.
He wants Thalnos to probably cycle this point. He doesn't need spell power, really.
No, not for this. Alright, deciding to go for the 3/3 instead.
Well, let's see what Alchemixt can do here.
Yep. Well, let's see. He's got 4 damage on the board, so that's 14 for Darkwonyx, and then, let's see, Flame Imp. Yeah, why not? I mean, he's got plenty of life to play.
Yeah, look how many cards he's drawn this game. It's actually kind of crazy.
Yep.
You know what? Leroy plus Shield Bearer is pretty awesome.
I think so, too.
Pretty awesome.
I really like that, because it's a good turn to get rid of Leroy in anticipation of playing those Doom Guards as well, so... Yeah, I totally agree. Leroy Shield Bearer is what I would do, too.
Seriously, that's a lot of taunts out there. It's hard to imagine that he's going to be able to get through them all and get rid of Leroy. Without another Lightning Storm, he could be in a lot of trouble.
Yep, I would say so.
So let's see. He's really considering that Doom Guard. He keeps hovering over it.
Yeah, the Doom Guard, I mean, it's such a risky play, because you have a very good chance of discarding something you really don't want to discard. Like if he plays that and then loses the Doom Guard and the other Leroy... he's still got a strong board position. All right,
not the worst thing in the world. That leaves him with the Doom Guard, so that's nice.
He should still be able to close things out pretty quick with this, but
it looks like it.
Risky play, though. I mean, you'd still have both Doom Guards in the hand, and you'd do more damage with Leroy in the combo, but whatever.
Okay, so we have Hex, Lava Burst, Fire Elemental. I think he has to go Hex 100%.
Oh, yeah.
He could Lava Burst if he had 1 more spell power, but it's not the case, so... good idea to draw first.
Yep. Oh, that wasn't too bad. that'll maybe keep him alive a little bit longer.
Oh god.
Yeah, I'd say you could Hex into Feral Spirits.
Yeah, Hex Feral Spirits
All right.
Totem seems to be the only really good play here.
Yep, I agree. I mean, it's not going to stop you from playing anything else in your hand the next turn, and it would probably allow you to survive because most Warlocks these days aren't running Hellfire or anything like that. So
I'd be very surprised to see Hellfire in this deck, but
exactly.
it is a Ninja deck, so
you never know. Yeah, I mean,
you never know.
We've all run Hellfire in our Warlock decks at one point, right?
Indeed.
So, but these days it's pretty unlikely. So yeah, I think that was definitely the right play there.
So I'm just wondering, can Darkwonyx actually come back from this position? Because he's very low on health, but if you look at the hand quality, he has just got it in spades. His hand is so much higher than Alchemixt.
And second Doomguard. I'm sure he wasn't expecting to see that.
Yeah. Well, now he understands why there were so many cards in Alchemix's hand that didn't move for so long.
Yep, pretty much. All right, so how do you efficiently get rid of these 2/3s? That's the big question here. He really can't, actually. He doesn't have enough damage to do. Well, he does with the Doomguard, obviously, but... Yeah, I think
the Doomguard taking 2 here means Lava Burst is going to be able to clear it out, and
it is.
You know what? Alchemix has fought back so well, but Darkwonyx has such quality in his hand right now. I could see him like ending up winning this.
Yeah, it's possible. Oh, he got the heal onto the Doomguard. That's really nice. He needs to go for a Spell Power Totem if he wants to be able to finish it off now.
Oh, that's so annoying.
Yeah.
That is so annoying.
That
oh my
sucks,
god,
man.
That's like a complete game changer.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I really feel like you fish for the Spell Power Totem in this case. Like, it's...
Hold on. There has to be something better than that, right?
Well, no, because he can't
No, there's
play...
not.
Yeah, he can't play Azure Drake. He can't... The only way you can get the Spell Power to kill it is by fishing for the totem. He's got a 50% chance to get it, which isn't bad.
Oh, wait, he could... Okay, he could go Leroy,
Uh-huh.
Lava Burst the 0/4, attack with his totem into the frog, and throw Leroy into the 5/6. And that leaves
true.
That leaves 6 power on the board, though, for his opponent. And
That's
6 power
thing,
against a 9 health Warlock is not...
Yeah, because there's such a good chance that he's going to draw something with charge. He's going to draw Soulfire. You know, I mean, it's a bit risky. So, I mean,
well,
either
actually,
way,
we've seen 3 charges out of him. We've seen the Leroy discard, and we've seen 2 Doomguards played, which means he's probably out of charge.
Oh, he got the Soulfire. Yes.
Oh, well,
I think that was honestly, as weird as that is, I think that was the best play.
Well, he had 50% to get it.
Yeah. You got a 1 out of 2 chance, and I mean,
if he doesn't, he just loses. So
exactly.
flip the coin.
You're kind of out of luck either way. So there's the Soulfire though. So that's going to be very close to enough damage.
Indeed, it is.
I'm sure he's going to be happy to see that. Now, do you play the Berserker here?
That's a good question.
I feel like you do because oh no, you don't because there's a Spell Power totem.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah. He
wants to just probably Soulfire, I guess.
Yeah. I don't think it's bad. And there was also the chance that you would get extra health on the Berserker as well from the Young Priestess, so yeah, I think that's a fine play. He's got 8 damage worth of taunt for Darkwonyx to get through, so there's very little possibility that
the last
he's gonna
turn. Like,
yeah,
if he goes Azure Drake and draws, okay, well that's it. Okay, of course he can get the taunt totem there.
Yeah,
and I guess that does give him possible 3 health. To play with here, but that's as we can see, that is in fact lethal.
Yep, that's it, because it's going to be 6 on the board after that taunt is removed, and yep. So Alchemixt is going to take game 2. Bad draw, but he managed to overcome it. Pretty nice.
Yeah, very well done. 2-0. Can Darkwonyx start a comeback? All right, pretty damn strong play from Alchemixt. I do have to hand it to him. I think he played that pretty much perfectly. To be life tapping so often early on, it was kind of a slow start for Darkwonyx as well. But you know, he's playing a Shaman deck that oftentimes is the case.
Yeah, and you know they're going to have a lot of removal early on that they can't really use if you don't play anything. So, you know, why not take a little bit of time? You can lose like 6 health just to get that hand that you need to start playing. And yeah, played it really well. And I gotta give him the advantage for this next game too, because Darkwonyx is bringing out a priest deck, and it's you know, a good priest deck, but it appears to be geared more towards other control decks than aggro. I mean, if you look at it just right off the bat, 1 Shadow Word Pain, 2 Shadow Word Deaths. That combination of cards isn't going to be very useful against what Alchemix has.
Yeah, that's true. Those, you know, I guess the Shadow Word Deaths can kill the the Doomguards and the Leroy, but...
It's got that. Well, Leroy, you know, I mean, if you see Leroy, I don't think you're going to get a chance.
It can kill an Amani Berserker that's been enraged.
That is true. That is true.
Might be too late at that point, but...
I mean, he's got like Ysera and Mind Control, and like those are cards that you really gotta wonder if the game's gonna get to those turns.
Well, you know what? Let's look at this deck in another way as well. There's actually some very interesting things that this deck can do. For instance, the Wombo combo of Akanai's Soul Priest plus Circle of Healing.
There's always that, yeah.
That can clear the entire board very easily of Alchemixt, so that's very powerful. You know, he does have Twilight Drakes and a Defender, so he could make some giant taunts.
Yeah, there's also Holy Nova as well for more board control. And
Why the Pyro is very useful, especially with Northside Cleric and Circle of Healing. You can draw like 10 cards very easily.
And the thing is he will get to like turn 6 at least. And Cabal Shadow Priest is really good against Warlock.
That's the thing about any Priest deck that looks like this. If they can control the board up to turn 6, they oftentimes are going to crush the opponent, because once you start playing on a pretty controlled board, the Cabal Shadow Priest, you get a 4/5. Plus, it's better than in a situation like that. It's better than a Black Knight, because Black Knight just kills a taunt. This steals a minion, so it like builds your board so much and destroys their board. So if he can just keep control up to there, which is it's a tall order, but if he can, this deck can win.
It's got a possibility, and he's going to need to win if he wants to have any chance, I think, of taking this King of the Hill, because now he's at the point where he needs to win 4 games in a row. Well, you know, if he loses this game, he's going to need to win 4 in a row to win. So this is a pretty crucial one for Darkwonyx.
It certainly is. So let's go ahead, jump into this game, and see if Priest can take out this Warlock deck. Alrighty, let's see what these draws look like. Not the best draw I've seen from Alchemixt here, and from Darkwonyx.
Well, it's better than last time anyway.
Yeah, well, he made that work anyway somehow, but from Darkwonyx, I don't like this draw really at all. These are kind of slow cards. The only card he really should like in this hand is the Soul Priest.
Yep, pretty much. Getting a Berserker on first turn is really nice too. I mean, the thing is that there we go. Okay, and that's a really good play against any possible Northshire Clerics, which not many people use anymore, but against Priests, you never know if you're going to see it. I guess you Thought Steal this turn? I mean, I guess that's just what you do.
The 2 health is not worth it. You need to Thought Steal.
Yeah, Power Overwhelming and Shattered Sun Cleric. Okay, well.
Pretty useless stuff, man.
Yep.
Next turn, we're probably just going to see him drop an Akanai, which will probably be dealt with immediately.
Yeah. Oh, man, things are not going to really get much better at this point.
Well, you know, this is the thing. The new age aggro decks are so consistent. It's like very hard to do anything against them.
Oh, it's hard to get a bad draw, that's for sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
like you have to. The thing is, some of these decks, like especially Priest, is prone to like weak draws because it's not as consistent. Every card in the Warlock deck does almost the same thing. So
interesting. All right.
Well, you know, he has 2 Akanais, so this only makes sense, I would say. This is something that has to be dealt with.
Yeah.
And I'm quite sure will be dealt with.
Yeah, I would imagine. I mean, this is a card that you absolutely need to get rid of. Let's see. So what options does he have?
He doesn't have a clean way to kill it, unfortunately.
Not really, no. Huh. And the thing is like, any way he does it will probably make him pretty vulnerable to Circle of Healing next turn, too, so.
Yeah, if we do see that Circle. And in fact, as long as he doesn't lose that Amani, it's a little bit better, because next turn is Holy Nova, possibly.
Yeah. That's what I was talking about, is Holy Nova, Yep, that's what I would be worried about. Oh, Soulfire, okay, yeah.
Alright, so there we go, and you know what? That buffs 2 of his minions out of range of that Holy Nova. Really well done by Alchemix. He knows about Holy Nova.
Oh yeah. Anyone who plays aggro against Priest knows about Holy Nova.
Indeed.
Already 16 health for Darkwonyx, though, or Darkwonyx. There's the draw you want. Yep.
This turn plays itself.
Nice. Yep. Soul Priest into Circle of Healing.
Yeah. So he'll be able to clear the board here, and this is a great combo. Like if he had it last turn, obviously it would have been a lot nicer. But as is, he's starting to stabilize. But Alchemix does have that Doom Guard, so he might go ahead and decide to play that out.
Yeah, I think it's definitely pretty tempting. He's not going to do it, though.
No.
I'll draw another Doom Guard, though. Alright, there's the Yamani Berserker as well, so you can just play both of that. Now, there is, I believe, a Shadow Word Death in the hand of Darkwonyx, so if those Doom Guards come out, they're gonna die pretty quick.
Let's see. Power Overwhelming actually might be the right play here.
You think so?
Think about it. He can't ping the 2/3. He's got to kill something here. Oh.
Yeah. I think you can do this and then kill the taunt and then heal up. And then heal up the.
You know what he could have done actually?
What's that?
I think that this play is completely fine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he can't heal up.
Oh, it didn't heal up. Yeah.
Because of the Alchemixt, you can't heal.
Oh yeah, obviously. I don't play priest.
He could have pinged that guy and then gone for Shadow Word Death on him, but I don't think that's a good move.
Yeah.
This is definitely a bit better. So, do you play the Doomguard this turn?
Well, if you do, you definitely play the Shield Bearer first. And
I would hope so.
Yeah, I think
no, I just want that mana open with no cards in hand.
I think it's pretty safe to do this. I mean, you're going to lose your other Doomguard, yeah, but you're going to be able to draw, an extra card every turn. You're getting into the mana range where you're going to be able to play anything you draw, so...
And with that Taunter out, it's going to be even harder to kill off this Doomguard. The thing is that he doesn't know is that there is a Shadow Word Death, but definitely something he could guess.
Alright, well, I mean, a smart play, too, there, taking out one of the minions with the Doomguard first, not just going for face, and that's smart because there are those Shadow Word Deaths out there, so you might as well make sure that card counts for something,
That's right. Here, Twilight Drake, I think, is the right play.
I agree, yeah.
Because do that before the Shadow Word Death, so you have that extra toughness. And you know what? He is playing at 14 health as a priest that can gain a lot of life really quickly.
I think he's
got a strong board.
Yeah, especially with Alchemixt having no cards in his hand. He's going to have to life tap to draw another one. What does he get? Flame Imp.
Not strong
Argent
cards.
Squire. No, not at all. Those are like turn 1 cards. Those are not cards you want to see on turn 7.
Yeah, this is very easily clearable.
Yeah. Shadow Word Pain. That helps too.
In fact, everything's starting to look really good for him, I have to say. I think that Holy Nova here is completely fine.
Yeah, you can just kill the 1/1 that remains with your Twilight Drake and then go through for 3, yeah.
The thing is, you clear his entire board this turn, and you have 2 big minions. Well, not big, but big enough minions on the board. I would say that the odds of, with him drawing only 2 cards a turn, and we've already seen both Doomguards gone.
Yeah.
There's no way. There's no way he's going to win this.
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty impossible. Now, do you think you should have played the Circle of Healing afterwards, after attacking? Because it heals your minions, right?
Which, Circle of Healing?
Circle of Healing, yeah.
He doesn't have Circle of Healing.
I mean, Holy Nova, that's what I meant.
Oh,
it heals your minions, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
So wouldn't you want to attack the square first, remove the shield,
I guess he
then
wanted
do it
3 more damage on because there was a taunt?
I suppose, yeah.
So...
Alright.
And he wanted to heal himself, it looks like.
Oh, yeah, of course it's a taunt. Right.
Well, he got 4 points of healing on himself.
My brain is clearly not working this game, it's fine.
It's fine.
Alright, well, we've got Leroy and a Defender of Argus. Alright, so taunt Leroy for the win.
Well, you can't even do that because you had to life
nope.
Pretty
pass the turn.
Pretty awful turn there as well.
There's a North Shard Cleric in this deck. Yeah. What do you know?
Well, I don't even know. Would I be healing myself at this point?
Well, 7
or
plus
healing
4.
my minion?
What's 7 plus 4? It's 11. Yeah, you can't quite kill him this turn. I would maybe Thoughtsteal this turn, because you're like, well, if I draw a Soulfire with Thoughtsteal, I can just Power Overwhelming and win. He gets a Knife Juggler.
Good old Knife Juggler.
Yeah, and he also gets the Abusive Sergeant.
The Knife Juggler in Priest play. One of my favorites.
Oh, yeah. And you do that. Yep, so that's 6 plus, let's see, 9 plus 4, and that's enough, yeah. Wow. I believe it is, yeah. Okay, there it is, yeah.
Okay, that was kind of a random lethal. I wasn't even looking for it, but
Thoughtsteal, man.
That
you know you're gonna steal something good.
Very strong game there from Darkwonyx, taking his first game in the series. Oh, thank God. Thank God that Darkwonyx took a game here. I was really nervous that Alchemixt was just going to roll someone over. I think that this... Again. Maybe we have a match now.
I think we definitely do. I mean, it's 2-1 right now, so Darkwonyx has a chance to tie it up with a win here. But he's going against a Hunter aggro deck. This is a deck that we've been seeing a lot on the ladder, obviously. And I'm not just talking about Hunter in general. I'm saying this version particularly, with the Elven Archers, with the Arcane shots in it. It's starting to get really popular, but some interesting stuff with this deck.
I'm actually kind of interested that he chose this against Priest, because it's not that Priest has a really great matchup against Hunter, but if the Hunter deck gets slowed down at all, the Priest can gain a lot of life and kind of negate a lot of the cards that Hunter already used on it. And also, Priest is one of the 2 classes that doesn't play a lot of minions, which makes your Unleash the Hounds plus Starving Buzzard combo a lot weaker. And the other deck, of course, is Warrior. Neither of these play many minions because they both have life gain in them. They don't need to really have taunts or board control as much as the other decks, I guess. So
Yep.
I'm interested that he chose this. I don't know what his other deck lists are right at this second.
Yeah.
But we'll see how he plays with it against Priest. You know, it's oftentimes so fast that a Priest deck can have some trouble. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I think he's got a lot of bursts in this deck as well, and I mean, you can Arcane Shot to the face at the same time. And the thing is this deck reminds me a lot of there was like a short period of time, like post when Blizzard nerfed like Blizzard and all the AoE CC for Mage, when there were these really aggressive Mage decks that were just all charge, go for the face, and then finish them off with Fireball, Pyroblast, and a lot of it was Iceland's Frostbolt combos. So everything just goes to the face, basically.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is kind of similar to that. It's not going to be as damaging initially, but you do have the one Arcane Golem in there. You've got Kill Command. I mean,
true.
You only need one Beast out to make Kill Command really good.
That's right. And you know what? If he gets Hoggers with his Animal Companion, that's going to be really strong. The thing is, he also didn't see Holy Fire.
That's true,
from Darkwonyx. But Holy Fire is going to be a big card in this matchup, possibly. And one thing I actually, you know, I'm guilty of playing a lot of Priests on the ladder when I play, just because I have a lot of fun playing Priest. And I do have to say that when I do lose to a Hunter deck in the late game, Timberwolf, Leroy, Unleash is the combo that oftentimes gets me, because obviously you get a lot more of your little dogs and you give them all +1, and it's really powerful. But we only have one Timberwolf in this deck, so that could be a very key play if he gets that Timberwolf.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's prioritizing that direct damage more than you normally see. I mean, 2 Wolf Riders as well in this deck is a little bit interesting. So we'll see if he can do enough damage to take out Darkwonyx before the healing begins and go up to 3-1.
Alrighty, let's look at these hands, and I would say that's for Alchemixt kind of a weird hand. But the thing is, his deck is a little bit different as far as Hunter decks go.
Yeah, well, still, that's not what you want to see in your hand. Well, so you got the Leper Gnome for the draw, and so that was at least something.
And the hand for his opponent, not too bad. Thinking about a Crazed Alchemist. Let me think here.
Now, do you think he...
There's no reason to save that, I guess.
I want to get your opinion on this. I mean, I think the Crazed Alchemist is a fine play too, but, you know, do you think he kind of missed out going for his hero ability too fast in turn 1? I think the Leper Gnome might have been a little bit handier. Because, you know, then you would have had it out. Alchemixt, you know, or the Crazed Alchemist wouldn't have been as threatening. And
I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
but I
don't
think that mana efficiency is one of the most important things on Hunter deck, because as we saw, he has one spell that costs 4 and everything else is 3 or less. He needs to use every mana every turn if he's to have a true chance, I would say.
Okay.
So I'm actually okay with it.
Alright, I can see the point. And he's already done 6 damage as well, so I mean, kind of the process of just hitting for the face every single turn as much as you can is on the way.
Yeah, and I mean, Darkwonyx, the thing is, he knows that for 2 mana, Darkwonyx heals for 2. For 2 mana, he deals for 2. So it's it's an interesting balance of using your mana and trying to get their life down, because they're going to be healing, and trying to get some sort of board presence without overcommitting.
Yeah.
And this turn, well...
I mean, I think the Wolf Rider is actually fine here. I mean, like I said, I really believe this deck is meant to just attack as much as possible and do as much damage. It's really similar to that Mage deck that people were using a while back. Just as much damage to the face as you possibly can, a lot of direct damage. So, yeah, I think you need to play the Wolf Rider that turn and keep the pressure on.
Well, with Darkwonyx, I wouldn't be surprised if we see him go ahead and use this Shadow Word Pain. Not a lot of better things for him to hit with it, and I'd probably heal up as well. I think healing almost every turn against Hunter is oftentimes appropriate.
I totally agree.
You've got to keep your life total as high as possible, and because as we get to the late game, Hunter's plays get worse and worse and worse.
Yep, very true, especially if you don't have a lot of creatures out, so that's fine. The thing is he's getting to the point where he's got 2 Cabal Shadow Priests in his hand, and he's only 2 turns away from turn 6, so anything that gets played he can steal.
In fact, he has a coin, so he could actually just steal something next turn.
Oh yeah,
possibly.
That's right, yeah, absolutely.
But if we look at this hand, there's just nothing interesting in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's garbage. You don't want to play any of these cards right now.
No, not at the moment.
I mean, he might just wait a little bit later on and use like 2 Starving Buzzards, draw a ton of cards, and try to get back into the game like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the strengths of Hunter too, right? Is that you do have that opportunity to get a good draw, and you got a Cabal Shadow Priest out without any benefit really for Darkwonyx other than getting that 4/5, so that's not bad.
Alright, so now we have, at 6 mana, he could go for Starving Buzzard plus Unleash, but without a Timberwolves, you're not going to clear very much.
Right.
Oh, he has Leroy now and 2 Unleash in hand. Suddenly he has, like, a lot of combo potential.
Yeah. We'll see.
Alright, so he's going to go Buzzard.
Yeah, I think
that means Unleash for sure.
I was going to say, I think you can go Buzzard and 1 Unleash this turn, but he's going to go double Buzzard Unleash.
Well, he wants to draw, I guess there's a total of 5 cards he's going to draw this turn. Yeah, Holy Nova in his hand is, it's a little bit rough, but at least he gets to fill up his hand a bit. And, there 2 Hunter's Marks. Really nice, actually.
Yeah, and he's got the Hunter's Mark of Elven Archer combo, too, in this deck as well, so that's kind of nice. Just uses it for the Hounds there. Just unleashing them slightly.
Just slightly
unleashed. Kind of more letting the dogs out than unleashing the hounds, you know?
Of course. Alright, so... Wait a minute, what is... Is he actually just going to attack?
Maybe. I kind of like Holy Nova this turn.
Yeah, I do too. Okay, he's going to do it anyways. Just wanted to draw that card. That makes sense, Yep. So, for Alchemixt now, looking at this... Right, he has no more buzzards, but he does have a full hand. He has Unleash plus Leroy.
Yeah.
That's a lot of damage. If he draws into his 1 Timberwolf, even on an empty board, that's quite a bit of damage. So,
he got his 4/4 taunt.
And that's actually quite nice.
It's not bad, yeah. And is he going to use his Hunter's Mark? Yeah, I guess he will. Okay.
Well, he knows that there could be a way to kill like a...
Yeah.
Whoa, did that turn? Oh, okay. Never mind. I was getting confused here just for a second.
There's some crazy bugs going on right now in Hearthstone, but that was not one of them.
But yeah, the crazed Alchemist that he just drew actually would have been very helpful there. But looking at what the board looks like right now, there's... This is actually... That was a very good turn for Alchemist to be able to get this 4/4 taunt out. Because, again, a 4 health minion... Very good against Priest always.
Well, yeah, 4 attack minion. I mean, they can't do anything about it. No, but you're totally right. I mean, 4 attack is like the magic number versus Priest.
Very hard to do something.
Not vulnerable to Cabal Shadow Priest, not vulnerable to Shadow Word anything. Does steal the Elven Archer.
Alright, so a couple minions out here. Now, how much damage does he actually have? He has Leroy, which would give 2 more, so he could get 4 dogs. That's 10. He has 14. 17 damage, 18, 19 damage he has right now possible.
Wow, 19 damage.
19.
And
Holy crap.
Next turn, what you do is you just play Explosive Trap.
I think that you go for the 19 damage.
I agree.
Because if he doesn't have Holy Fire, like even if he does have Holy Fire, there's a decent chance because he has Arcane Shot. He has, I mean...
I think you should go for it. Yeah, I totally agree. I think you know,
is
Leroy...
Is the board state going to get better than this? I doubt it.
This is your big chance, and I mean... Yeah, you do that, and then you... well, the thing is he doesn't want to use up his weapon before playing his trap. That's kind of what he's thinking about a lot.
I understand, but getting your opponent down to, like, 2, having Arcane Shot plus the...
Leper Gnome as well, too. I mean, that's 2 more damage.
That's true, yeah, no. You have so much damage. If he's only healing for 2 a turn, he's in trouble. Even if he has Holy Fire, you're very likely to be able to finish him off.
I think so, yeah.
I think he's just counting it up and being like, do I take him to 2 right now, or do I try to wait? But you're not going to find a better spot.
It feels really uncomfortable to almost kill a Priest, because you're like, oh great, they're just going to heal, aren't they? But he's going to go for it. I think this is a right move.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage.
Now, I guess the question here is, does he attack with the weapon or not? Because he... I mean, he could save... He could save the weapon charge.
Yeah.
I think it's actually okay if he does. He plays Leper Gnome.
Okay, he could Arcane Shot here, too. There's 3.
Okay, well, this was actually a really smart play.
Yep, because
this was actually much smarter than what I was saying.
Well, yeah, now if he AoEs, he just dies, right?
Yeah.
He'd have to heal first, but, he didn't get the draw for any sort of Circle of Healing combos or anything like that.
Well,
I think you just kind of say GG here.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain of that one.
I mean, he can change the attack of Leroy. He can kill the 4/4 with his 4/5. He can, clear some of this stuff. But he has to have 2 mana to heal himself, too. Yeah, there's just really... I really don't think he can actually do anything this turn.
Super well done by Alchemist.
Totally, yeah.
Such a strong deck.
Yeah.
Gonna make that a 1-2.
Alright, why not?
Yeah.
Circle of Healing. Alright, heals it. Ooh. This is interesting, I guess. I think he's just kind of playing around.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, what is he trying to do?
No sense.
He doesn't have a Northstrider Cleric out. Okay, so Alchemix now up 3-1 over Darkwonyx. Well, if Alchemixt wins one more game now, and, he has the Hunter deck plus one other deck left, so it makes it kind of likely. If he wins one more game, though, he ties with Reels for second ever in IRTU King of the Hill, which is pretty crazy. And can he challenge Savitz at that point? I don't know, but let's not talk about that yet, because Darkwonyx is still in this. He's chosen a deck that can beat anything. He's chosen Warrior Control, a deck that he is amazing at. He's one of the founders of Warrior Control. And this one, it's pretty standard, except it has a Battle Rage in it.
Yeah, Battle Rage. Welcome back. A card that we used to see all the time.
Because it was broken.
It was broken, but then they fixed it, and then we didn't see it as much. But it could still theoretically be good, so
we'll see. Let's think about this for 1 second, right? Whirlwind plus Acolyte of Pain is actually a very good combo that we use all the time in Warrior Control.
Right.
But Whirlwind Battle Rage costs 1 less mana, and oftentimes would draw you many more cards than that.
Yeah, the big question is...
As long as you have... If you have damage on you, because it's only friendly minions now that Battle Rage does.
Exactly,
friendly minions plus yourself.
So will he have enough creatures out there to really make it worth it? That's the thing.
That's in Warrior Control, oftentimes you don't have a lot of creatures.
Usually like 2 max.
I was considering playing this in my Warrior Control decks recently because I actually play out my minions quicker with Warrior Control than a lot of other players. So I was like, maybe this will work. I'm excited to see how it does here. Because, I don't know, I haven't seen this card played forever.
Me neither, but... I think we're hopefully going to see it this game. We'll find out. Alchemixt, if he takes this game, he will be up to 3 wins in the King of the Hill, which is insane. And Darkwonyx, if he wins, he'll kind of get himself a little bit of a new lease on life.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go ahead and jump in this game and see if the Warrior deck can take out the Hunter deck. It is a pretty good matchup for the Warrior overall.
I think so.
If he doesn't draw too much of his late game, he can gain a lot of armor and be okay. So.
Yeah, I feel good against Hunter when I play Control Warrior.
Yeah, generally speaking, as long as the draw isn't terrible, you're pretty good. So let's see if he can maybe make this a little bit closer. Alrighty, time to take a look at these hands, and that's an okay hand from Darkwonyx, and from his opponent, that's an okay hand as well.
Yeah, I'd say this is going to be a pretty evenly matched game. That's good. I hate it when the hands, have a big impact in the opening of the game. But I mean, that's CCGs, but it's just nice to see good hands come out, Do you play the Krill Taskmaster first? I like it. I do. Yeah.
I would say so. You've seen Arcane Shot already, and it is in his opponent's hand. And he has the coin, which means he could Eaglehorn Bow as well. Yep. Basically, the Armor Smith, you want to gain as much armor from her as possible. That's why the matchup is kind of favored.
Of course, yeah.
So I think that is the perfect play there.
Yep, I agree. And I mean, you think about it this way, too, is that if he doesn't do that, then he'll take a minimum of 4 damage from the Leper Gnome instead of 2, And then if he can't play for some reason next turn, he takes a minimum of 6. So... Leper Gnomes can quickly become some of the most efficient damage in the entire game.
Oh, yeah.
So you really need to deal with them early.
And he did do so and force that Arcane Shot out as well, so it's already going well for him.
I would
and
agree,
now playing this Acolyte, this is like remove it or I'm going to draw cards and maybe kill a minion.
Yeah, I wonder what he's going to do. I mean, he could Animal Companion, see what he gets. Bow would probably be the safest play here. He's going to go for the Animal Companion, though. And he gets to charge.
The best animal companion of all.
Oh, yeah. For this deck, definitely.
Ooh. He could armor up Shield Slam it.
He could, yeah.
I like that.
Yep.
I like it. You know what? Shield Slam, not the most useful card against Hunter.
Yep. And the thing is that you don't need to worry about doing damage to somebody early on with Control Warrior. Like, you're not really concerned about doing damage until, like, turn 8 or 9, until Alexstrasza comes out, basically.
And, you know what? This is why Warrior Control can do so well. Look at this. He's already had to remove some of his minions. He's already removed everything that Alchemixt has put out very easily and efficiently. His hand size is fine. His life total's fine. On turn 4 to be at 26 against Hunter, Hunter starts to panic a little bit.
Yep, I'd be panicking if I was playing Hunter. Luckily, I never do, so I never have to feel this way. Yep.
You should play it more often. I don't want to call it fun, but it's something.
I played it for a little bit, like a month or 2 ago, and I'm like, this is not my cup of tea.
And look at that. Now he's used one of his charges on his weapon.
That's
Against that, that's 3 less damage to face. He gets to draw a card. You think he cares? No, he doesn't care.
No, not really. And I think definitely this turn you maybe think about playing the Armor Smith as well, because you're like, all right, well, go ahead, man, attack me. Or yeah, actually the Chillwind Yeti even better, because you want them to attack with their weapon, because this deck relies so much on regenning charges from traps that you want to try to get him to use it as fast as possible.
You know what?
Oh, you got the trap, though. Okay.
I like him playing the trap, and I like him going for face here as well. Let him do what he wants with the Yeti. Let him clear with the Yeti, whatever. But, yeah, I would say that was a good play, and I think the Yeti was a good play, too, just because he was at such a high life total. So
Yeah, now what he could do is he could play the Armor Smith, he could attack, and then he could gain armor from that, assuming it's explosive trap. And then he could use the Fiery War Axe to kill off the Wolf Rider. Or maybe change the order up a little bit so you can end with armor would be better. But
I wonder what I would do here. This is actually, it's always hard when there's a trap out. What do you want to do? Because it could be freezing, misdirection, or explosive. Those are the three that you're likely to see.
Well, you know, it's probably not freezing in this type of deck. Normally you only see misdirection and explosive trap. Yeah, freezing is more of a mid-range hunter, but yeah, I think this is good. Clear the board, why not? Make them deal with it.
So at this point, he knows that this is a freezing trap. I mean, I'm sorry, an explosive trap.
Yeah. Yeah.
And is he actually...
I think it's okay to play the axe. I think it's unlikely that there's a Swamp Ooze in the other deck. That's what you're, kind of worried about. But
if there's misdirection, and it misdirects something into you...
Oh, that's true, too.
Then the axe kills it.
That's a good point,
So I think that's probably why he's doing it.
And as far as weapons go, too, next turn he has the ability to play Gore Howl as well. So that's going to be a little bit more useful weapon long term.
Alright, so, you know what? He has Hunter's Mark. He has the Elf. He has the Arcane Shot. And actually he has a coin. He could play another Unleash the Hounds. This is actually quite a nice turn for him.
So here's what I would do. Coin, and then Hunter's Mark, the 1/4, then Elf, the 1/4, then Arcane Shot, the Yeti. And then that would clear the board.
I think I would
he's gonna
do this Unleash first. Yeah, this is... I would just waste some of my Hounds, because you get to draw 2 more cards. Like, look how big his hand is.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right. I was completely forgetting about the fact that he just played a Buzzard. Yeah.
And, he just wants to use his weapon as opposed to a Hunter's Mark. Looks like he's going to go... I think he's realized that this game might go very long. Yeah. So why use Hunter's Mark right now?
Yeah. The thing is that against this Warrior deck as well, you know that there's going to be huge Legendaries coming out too, so...
You know what I'm a little bit afraid of for him, though, is the fact that look at how high this life total is for Darkwonyx. And the fact that we're this late into the game, and he's used up a lot of his burst, right? He's used 2 Arcanes, which is 1 mana for 2 damage. It's not burst, sure, but he's used up both of his doggy cards.
Brawl, hello.
Well, it looks like the Buzzard lives, so he's going to have to go ahead and War Axe that. But...
Yeah, pro tip, the last minion to enter the fray is the one that lives.
Yeah, so, you know what, that's... I just don't see how he's going to get enough damage out to kill Darkwonyx. If Darkwonyx armors up every turn, and I see no reason why he wouldn't...
Yep. Well, he'll want to play Alchemixt on turn 9, but aside from that, yes, he will be armoring every turn,
And, well, he's got that Leroy now, so that's nice, I guess.
Yep. He's going to need a lot more than Leroy, though.
Yes, he certainly is.
Alright. Well, let's see. There's a Battle Rage.
Not going to be that useful here, is it?
Not as useful, but the thing is he might have a situation where he's got a lot of Legendaries out with a lot of health, and he might get a good Battle Rage off, who knows?
I think I would Battle Rage this turn. Otherwise, your turn is so worthless. Like, what do you do? Attack?
You might as well. Just draw a card. There's Ragnaros. Alright, well...
Rag is actually really nice against Hunter decks.
He'll be good after Alchemixt gets played next turn, basically.
You know what? He could attack Leper Gnome, armor up, play Rag, and let Rag sit there and see what it does. But the thing is, Hunter's Mark plus Elven Archer, I guess that doesn't live long, does it?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is I always like to play Alchemixt first if I can, just because you're going to do that guaranteed damage, and then you're going to also get out whatever removal they have in their hand, and then Ragnaros comes out and he becomes a big problem. So, given that he's going into turn 9,
that's true.
I like the Alchemixt a little bit better.
Alright, well, we'll see what he ends up doing with that. Another thing to take note, sometimes I save Alchemixt even if I'm relatively high life, because I know that Hunter is going to overextend trying to get me low enough to kill me.
That's a good point,
and then I can heal
Hunter,
up.
Against Hunter, I agree,
But, I don't know if that's going to be the right choice here. Look at how weak a turn Alchemist just had, by the way.
Yeah, he doesn't really have a lot of good plays at this point. So do you need to play the Legendaries this turn? No, not really, but...
If he plays Rag, that means he is saving Alchemixt to heal.
Yep, probably.
That's all it can mean.
I would imagine. That's what he's deciding right now. He's like, all right, well, do I get aggressive here, or do I just play Ragnaros and do some guaranteed damage? Because Ragnaros gets around traps quite nicely as well, too. That's the other thing.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite reasons for running Ragnaros.
He can also play Armorsmith and a Gorehowl as well, which is like, well, maybe I'll try to get some armor that way, and then I'll have a weapon out to deal with creatures. But at this health total, I think Ragnaros, if he wants to use Alexstrasza to heal, Ragnaros is a play. If not, then Alexstrasza, but either one's okay. He may go for this Armorsmith.
All of these plays have their merits. Like, if he knows that, if he really believes Explosive Trap, Gorehowl would have been nice, because he can go Gorehowl, then Alexstrasza, and then no matter what happens, whether Alexstrasza gets cleared or not, he has possible lethal the next turn with Rag plus Gorehowl.
Exactly, yeah.
But this play is good, too, because this way he can actually set off the trap very easily.
He could have anyway, if that hadn't existed, but he's got, he played for the safest play, which I think is fine. Yep. Now, though, unfortunately for him, there's a second Hunter's Mark in the hand of Alchemixt, so Darkwonyx, what's he going to do this turn? He's got the
so possibility funny if he plays that and it hits the
I know, that hurts. It hurts so bad when that happens.
Well,
and that's why I kind of like the Alexstrasza a little bit better. Because you really have to, when a Hunter, but the thing is then you have to worry about Freezing Trap, in which case Alexstrasza will never be played again. And misdirection.
You save your coins just in case.
Yeah, exactly. Misdirection is a big problem with Alexstrasza.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's why you try to play that other guy too, right?
Yeah.
He might go like Gorehowl plus Acolyte. That is a possibility here.
All right. Yep.
And the Acolyte is going to be what he tries to get this trap off with. And this is oftentimes when I play Warrior against Hunter, what I'll try to do as well is you just play a small minion to try to set up traps.
Yep.
Because your big guys will just kill you if they misdirect into you or something like that. And as you said, Freezing Trap, haha.
Yeah.
11 mana, yeah, right.
That trap is changing this whole game right now. Yeah. All right. Well, what do you do here? Let's see. Not a lot of good stuff.
Everything's pretty gross, man, to be honest.
Yeah, you can do guaranteed damage. It's really interesting, actually. Both of these players in a situation where their plays are very weird and risky this game. I say, well, do you Buzzard? I don't know. Because do you need to draw that bad?
For the Timberwolf, he draws one card, and then you might want to kill command because he doesn't have that many beasts in the deck, really.
Right, exactly. I think that wouldn't be bad.
Well, his hand is bad enough that I guess this makes sense. What did he draw?
Oh, Animal Companion.
Really great draw.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Really fantastic draw.
Really good. Oh, did you draw something else?
Yeah, he drew an owl. Another awesome draw.
Wow, so
and
the draw's really happening for Alchemix, and Wolf Rider is a really good draw as well, too. That's going to really help him out. More burst damage. He's got a lot of beasts on the board, so there's a good chance that things will live. Very cool. Slam in the hand. All right.
Well, this is kind of a hard situation, isn't it?
Well, things just turned around a lot for Alchemix.
Alright, what do you attack? Because you could set up the trap, I don't think that's worthwhile, but you have Slam and Execute, which can get rid of one of these guys. You have your Gorehowl that can get rid of one of them.
I mean, I think Timberwolf is a good priority target for the Acolyte of Pain.
Well, I would Slam first, see what I draw.
Because
let's say you draw Whirlwind.
Yep, I agree.
That's it. It's like you got what you need.
Oh, Cruel Taskmaster is a good draw, too.
That's not a bad draw either, yeah.
He can execute.
He can get rid of the whole board.
Yes, he can. Yeah, he can Cruel Taskmaster. Yes, there we go. That. And then...
that's a weird order. I think he did this wrong. Yeah.
Yep.
You definitely shouldn't have done that. You want to Cruel Taskmaster, one of the guys that has more health. So now this guy's going to go down to 1 health, which is kind of a pain.
Yeah.
But, you know what? It was a fine turn. Other than that, he did everything right.
Yeah.
It's just that this could have 1 more health. So.
Yeah, but that wouldn't matter against Explosive Trap. So you're right in the wrong order, but this game, unfortunately for him, it doesn't matter.
He could have 1 more health if he did it. If he attacked this guy into one of the 2/1s.
Yes.
So just a little bit of a mistake here. But he's still stable at 15 health.
Yeah, I would say so.
Now he has 2 kill commands in hand plus Leroy. So that is, if he could get a beast
12
out,
damage.
That's 12 damage. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, that's certainly a bit risky. I mean, I think this turn you probably just want a Wolf Rider and then Hero Ability, and just save it up.
I think you're probably right.
Yeah.
Okay, he's gonna Leroy. This is for reals. He's not playing around anymore.
Wow, yeah.
But this is why holding that Alexstrasza can be good, because you know they're saving up to try to burst you.
Yeah.
Look how low he's gonna get.
Yeah.
Now this board is gonna get cleared, and he's gonna gain a ton of life.
Yeah. In this case, it worked out really well. Oh, nice, Gromash. That's a good closer as well. And so Yeah, I think you trade the 2/2 for Leroy there.
I feel like I would use my weapon maybe against this 3/1, but well, no, actually, there's no point.
Yeah,
but I would set up the trap, set off the trap for certain.
Yeah, well, he's gonna do that, no doubt. It's gonna bring him to 2, but whatever. He's got Alexstrasza, so it's fine.
And wow, that was a good hold on Alexstrasza, that's for sure.
No kidding. Yeah.
And Alchemixt has almost nothing left. Does he even have 15 points in his deck?
That's a very good question. Yeah.
Well, he's obviously gonna have to kill this off.
Yeah.
But this is looking unbelievably grim.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he doesn't need to kill command it just yet. He can take like a point of damage or 2. Oh well, Whirlwind's not going to be the greatest. Well, you could actually, you could attack with. No, never mind. I don't know. You just kind of hang out. That's what you do. You just play Ragnaros and you hang out.
Let Rag kill him. Yep. Rag plus all this other damage.
Yeah. That's his last card.
What's his card?
Unless it's like another Leroy, I don't think he's gonna win this one. Yep.
Bluegill Warrior.
Bluegill Warrior does not help. No.
No, certainly not. And
not
these kill
beast.
commands, unfortunately, no beasts left in the entire deck.
Yeah.
Well, there is no deck, so.
Oh well.
I guess that's obvious.
It was close. It was pretty close. If
he didn't have Alexstrasza, another thing we do have to take into consideration, he was kind of doing poorly early on, and he used both of his unleashes, right?
Yeah.
So, what can you do there?
Yeah, it's true.
You use your whirlwind, you armor up, and
do you use
the game is over.
Yeah, I guess you do use your whirlwind. Yeah.
Well, there's nothing he can do. He has nothing left. But you know what? He had to use both those early on. If he had saved one, maybe he can win this. But then he wouldn't have been able to draw on all those other cards. So it's hard to say. But
interesting game.
Yeah, GG and Darkwonyx wins again. Okay, so 3-2. He's got his warrior deck. He played it extremely well. Really great play there to hold on and win out against the hunter in the end. But it's a pretty good matchup overall. Now he has to go up against Druid. And against Druid, because I've played this matchup a lot, like, I would say that the Druid has an edge, but it's not a giant edge or anything. Because, especially with this warrior, you're playing a couple executes, you've got good removal overall, and you have a lot of this endgame stuff. So if they don't get like a very strong start and really take control of the board, endgame can be very hard for Druid because these minions are hard to remove because you don't have any real removal in a Druid deck. Yep,
very true. I mean, Black Knight not going to be as helpful against a deck with no taunts in it, so it's not going to work out. Big Game Hunter is going to be nice, of course. Yeah. And he's got the Savage Roar Force of Nature combo, so this Druid does potentially have the burst to finish him off if he gets in that sort of late game situation, but we'll see. And Mark of the Wild as well. Second time today we've seen that.
Just playing one of those, and I actually really like him playing just one of those here because, it's another enabler for Ancient Watcher. It's kind of a tricky card to play in there. You never know how many they'll have, and can get you out of bind, sometimes buff a minion so you can kill something that they didn't expect. Yeah. It's cool to see one played in there. I like that these guys are trying out Mark of the Wild a bit more. I think the card's a bit underrated.
Yeah, it's very cool. I love using it on my Angry Chicken all the time. I
know.
It's pretty great. Yeah.
Oh, God. All right, so what is your prediction here? Can it go to Game 7, or will the Druid deck fight through?
Looking at these two decks, it's so hard to predict. I feel like I agree with what you said, where I feel like the Druid has a little bit of an edge, but not enough of one that I would say, Alchemixt is probably going to win it. I think this one is completely up to the draws and how they play. It's an even match.
Well, both players have been playing phenomenally. Very few mistakes on either side.
It's been a good series.
It certainly has. So let's go ahead, jump into this game, and see, can we go to a Game 7? I love it when we go to Game 7.
Me too.
Right, opening hands, please be good. And
well, not so good for Darkwonyx, actually. Or Darkwonyx.
I actually, it's okay. Like, Slam can help you draw into something else, and the Berserker is good.
The Berserker is good, but without the, you're not going to get up till turn 3. I mean, you're going to get armor. That's the nice thing about playing Control Warriors, that you always feel good on turn 2 at least, because you're like, well, I got some armor, so that's nice. But
I guess.
Yeah, I would not be too happy with that hand if I were him. But luckily it's control versus control, so he's got plenty of time to get good cards.
For Alchemix's hand, I guess he can coin out a Yeti and stuff, but his hand's really super slow, so that's kind of annoying.
Coining out a Yeti after a Frothing Berserker turn isn't bad, though.
No, it's quite fine.
Yeah.
And I'm quite sure that's what he's going to do.
Yep. I would imagine.
I mean, he does have 2 swipes, so he
That's
could be
true,
considering
yeah.
that, but it's like playing a swipe versus playing a Yeti. I don't think you can compare it too well.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that he knows to kill that Yeti. Darkwonyx would have to sacrifice his Frothing Berserker in most cases, so...
I think you slam the Yeti, perhaps?
Yeah, I think so too, just for the card draw. I think that's fine.
Yeah, because, I mean, otherwise the Yeti just kills your guy.
Yeah.
At least here, you can just, like, he could attack him or he could attack the Yeti here. I think both are kind of okay.
Yeah,
but
I think
might attack the Yeti. I don't know.
I think you actually probably want to attack through here because you've got the armor. But all right, he's playing control.
The thing is,
all
if
right.
he removes the Berserker in any other way, like a swipe, then suddenly this Yeti is out, and he's like, oh, his hand isn't really equipped to deal with a Yeti.
I mean, he had, well, I guess, yeah. I suppose that's his only slam, right? I think he's only running 1.
Yeah, I believe so.
All right, so given that that's his only slam too, that's also part of it as well. Now he can play a Yeti this turn.
I would think about Frothing as well.
Frothing and armor, yeah, that wouldn't be bad.
It's more mana efficient, but Yeti also makes some sense here. And he does have this Faceless, so
yeah,
we'll see what he does with the Faceless, what he saves it for. Like, I personally put Faceless back in my deck just to fucking Faceless Karn. Like,
yep.
After Tink was gone, it's like, well, if you can't beat him, join him, man. You know, like
Yeah,
I may as well
that's
have
true.
an additional Karn as well.
It is true. I mean, the thing is going Frothing and then possibly into Faceless next turn when it gets a bunch of attack too, which is kind of nice as well. But yeah, generally Karn is the better use for that. But kind of rough for Alchemixt at the moment. He's got the Harvest Golem. Do you just Mark of the Wild here?
No.
All right.
I think you save that as like a card that they're not expecting, kind of.
Yeah, well, not a lot of people expecting that right now.
No, certainly not.
All right, Shield Block, Frothing. Oh, no, actually.
Hold on, he could play Frothing, attack into that
Yeah,
Whirlwind, Battle Rage. So sick.
Yep.
Oh wait, no,
Yep.
he hasn't been damaged. Damn it!
Well,
Oh!
what he could do is Frothing and then do this and then Cruel Taskmaster to kill the token. And then have a good board and
Yeah,
have
that's
a strong
true.
Frothing.
Okay, that's good.
That's what he's
That's
gonna
good.
do, yeah.
I like that.
That's what I do, yeah.
That's too bad. If he had taken a damage, I would definitely go for the Whirlwind Battle Rage.
Yeah.
Like, because I don't think it matters if Yeti's at 3 or 2, and I don't think it... Well, I guess it matters if Frothing's at 4 or 3. That does matter because of Wrath, so...
Yep, I would
I
agree.
guess that's fine. That's fine.
And he's just going to swipe it. Alright, so drawing out a swipe, that's never a bad thing because it's going to keep the Yeti alive. You know, it's going to require another card to get rid of it anyway.
And this is kind of funny, man. If
4 armor
Druid
to
doesn't
Druid.
start with an Innervate, oftentimes we just see this. They're both so high life. It's turn 7. There's hardly anything on the board.
Control versus control, man. I mean, this is just how it goes. I think Shield Block at first is fine. I mean, you get the card draw, you get some armor.
May as well. He needs to get
Alright.
something else out of his deck here.
There's the Acolyte, so you can just play that for some more presumable card draw in the near future here.
Play.
Yep.
You know, he does have that Whirlwind in hand,
Yeah.
but obviously can't use that right now. It's not really worthwhile. For Alchemixt, I'm... Hold on.
Do
He's
you
at
Wrath
28.
the Acolyte here? I would be tempted.
No, I think that you just play the lore? And to draw a couple cards.
Yeah, I
'cause
suppose.
You just get your options really, really, really open for next turn. But this opens up a really nice Whirlwind opportunity for Darkwonyx.
Yeah, it
You can
does.
Whirlwind and kill that thing off with the Yeti. And,
He
oh my
can
god,
also
on top of
Whirlwind
that,
and Battle Rage, you know.
he hasn't taken damage on himself yet, though. So
Right, but he could still draw 3 cards this turn from doing it.
Well, no, it's only the friendly minions, so...
Yeah, so if he Whirlwinds, he would draw 1 card from Acolyte. and
Oh,
then
that's
Battle
true.
Rage and draw 3 cards.
Yeah. Actually, ooh, he has Gorehowl. Never mind.
I like getting rid of the
We're pretty
5/5.
dumb.
Yeah, but he's still not going to take damage, though.
Yeah,
So-
that's true, but you know
Oh
what?
well, whatever. It's fine this way, too.
In Control versus Control,
Yeah.
Gorehowl is like the most important card because it gains you so much card advantage. Like, this
pretty great.
Gorehowl will probably end up killing like 4 minions.
Yeah, that's...
So like 4 for 1 card advantage is pretty strong, I heard.
I've heard that's pretty good, too. Yeah.
Okay, this is my favorite part
Oh,
here.
here we go. Oh no, he's gonna faceless that. Oh, I thought he was gonna.
He is going to faceless
Alright.
it, trust
He
me.
is, but I thought we were maybe gonna see a Mark of the Wild on Karen instead, and I'm like, oh no.
I would faceless this so fast, I wouldn't
Oh
hardly
yes.
even think.
He drew his own Karn too, so he could have double Karn next turn. Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, okay, let's look at other options besides this.
Yeah, I mean, double Karn is insane. Like, how does a Druid deal with double Karn?
Not very easily.
Especially when one of his silences is already gone. Ha!
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, alright, let's see. So he's got 4 mana after Faceless. Presuming that he does that, he can then kill the first Karn. No execute, unfortunately.
I think you ignore the Karn, maybe.
Yeah.
Possibly you ignore the Karn.
Yeah.
That is a possibility here.
Oh, come on. Come on,
it's
just
such
faceless
a
it.
faceless target. Like, in a Druid deck, there is not a better thing to faceless, generally speaking.
I tend to agree with you.
In fact, in the game, there's not generally something better to faceless than Karn.
Yeah.
But what other plays does he have? Let's say that he doesn't want to do that. Like, he could Whirlwind and kill off a minion, and use Battle Rage, I guess.
Well, he's kind of thinking about Battle Rage this turn as well, because if he attacks, he takes damage, now he Whirlwinds, and then he Battle Rages, and so then he's going to draw a total of 4 cards this turn.
That's pretty darn good.
That's
pretty darn good.
The only problem is that it makes it so that... Oh, never mind. He can actually... Yeah. So his Karn would live. Alright, that's good. And he's got a second Karn
he might draw
anyway,
into an Execute as well, don't forget. So.
That's very true. I think you have to Battle Rage here.
You have to Battle Rage. There's never going to be an opportunity for you to draw more cards. Well,
there
could be, but probably not, right?
You're going to draw 3 cards off this, so yeah, it is going to be your best opportunity. So he's going to do it. He's going to do it.
This
there we
Battle
go.
Rage
Okay.
is kind of looking sexy, man.
Yeah, Shield Slam, not so much.
Whirlwind.
Another Whirlwind. Well, whatever. He could actually do that, and he could draw another card, and then that way he would make sure he would draw 3 from the Acolyte.
That's true. I think
you want to save
the Whirlwind because he's already used 1 Cruel Taskmaster, 1 Whirlwind, and he needs something that gets Garrosh going.
Exactly.
And he already uses Slam, so that leaves 2 cards in the deck, and that's one of them.
It'd be pretty greedy to do this.
He's a pretty greedy guy.
He seems to be, yeah.
And the thing is, also, if you put 1 more damage on this Karn, that opens up removal if he has a Wrath for Karn completely.
Yeah, that's...
Even though that's like a lot invested from Alchemixt.
Yeah, and he can play another Karn next turn anyway, but I would just attack through and save the Whirlwind this turn.
I think so.
Yep. Good play.
It was kind of a hard turn, but I think he played out very well. That Battle Rage was really impressive. 2 mana for 3 cards, really sick. Now especially when he used a Whirlwind to get it, which gave him another card.
Now there is a swipe. Unfortunately, that would give him another draw from the Acolyte. He would get 1 more than he would normally would, but it would be an efficient way to get rid of the Karn, because then he could trade, I suppose.
Doing that and then swiping works out perfectly.
Oh yeah, that's fine, yeah.
Will he actually swipe? No, it doesn't look like it.
Oh,
this is a good
very
move,
nice.
Very nice. And of course you want to go for face, because really the bonus is on the warrior to get rid of this stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely. Alright, well...
This is a a brawl turn, I would say. There's not going to be a better time to brawl. And the thing is, his Karn will come back no matter what, plus he has Gorehowl.
Yep.
So the board is his. He has a Karn left no matter what at the end. And there's nothing else, so...
if the 5/6 Yeti comes back from Brawl, he can't kill that with Gorehowl, but everything else is good. Oh, and the Yeti's going to come back. No, it's not. It's not. There was something after the Yeti. I didn't say what it was. Defender of Argus. There it is. Alright, that's perfectly fine.
Yes, that is. That is optimal, in fact. Well, I guess his guy coming back is optimal, but really, that's very good.
Yeah.
I would say, obviously, you remove this guy. You don't want to leave him on the board.
Yep. Definitely remove him. I don't think I would Cruel Taskmaster to do it.
Well, you could go Cruel Taskmaster, Armor, Shield Slam, but I don't like that. I don't see why you would do it.
It's a little bit extravagant, but...
That's a good way to describe it.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, so here we are, and you know what, this opens up a really strong Alexstrasza for next turn as well, let's not forget.
Yeah, it certainly does. And that's the whole idea with Alexstrasza and Control versus Control, is that you get the health totals pretty even. So there's, let's see, 3 damage. Or 1 damage,
yeah,
he just uses for the card draw, yeah, okay. And he can swipe after that, obviously, yeah.
Well, that leaves him with, like, nothing else very exciting this turn. Hero Power you.
Yeah, well... What do you do? I mean, you've got a life lead, you've got a lot of stuff in your hand. I mean, this is kind of the most you can hope for out of that turn.
I'm really liking the spot of Darkwonyx here.
Yeah.
I think an Alexstrasza is a pretty darn strong play.
I agree. Do you go Ysera, though, maybe?
You could,
for
actually.
For the card draw?
Because you're at 19 health on an empty board, you're right.
Yeah, I think in this particular case,
yes, you're completely right.
Because
he can't kill you, basically.
Yep.
Even the combo doesn't kill you.
Yep.
The Savage Roar Force of Nature combo. And with Ysera, that's something that is very hard to deal with. This is really cute with Black Knight.
Nice.
I didn't even think of this combo, but that is very,
good.
very cute.
Huh. That's so good in Control versus Control. Wow.
Yeah,
brilliant play from Alchemixt.
It truly is. And
very nice.
You know that there's like no taunts in a warrior deck, so it works out very well.
Yep, you have to do that. Now, I would say, which Ysera card did you get? Nightmare? Oh, okay, that's not going to be too helpful right off the bat.
Yeah, that's, the burst potential's there, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
Now, this would be a turn I would think about for Alexstrasza, because you would get the 8 out there, the 8/8 out there. You would be able to, lower him to 15 health. Karen Bloodhoof is kind of...
He leaves himself open to dying to the combo if he plays that. Because he goes on to 14 from killing the knight. Because he has 5 attack like Corral, right?
No, he has 4, so he can't.
That's kind of rough.
He does have an attack into Cruel Taskmaster, or Whirlwind into Cruel Taskmaster, or Execute. Yeah, there we go. He's got a lot of options, and he's going to gain some armor out of it too, so he's in good shape.
By the way, with how much Darkwonyx moves around his hand and clicks around and stuff...
It's really hard to keep track of his cards.
It's hard to keep track of. Also, I wonder how often he misplays stuff.
Yeah, seriously.
He's like, oops! Clicked a little bit too far that time.
Ugh.
Well, let's see here. Okay, I guess he'll have a silence coming out.
Yep.
Makes sense. The Karn is really annoying to deal with.
Yeah.
Maybe the 4/6 taunt?
It wouldn't be bad. Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise his 2/4 is just going to die, right?
Yeah, that's true. I would go for the 6/4 taunt in this particular case.
Unless he wants to start going to face. He could start going to face because he still has a decent amount of health here.
Yeah, but you know Alexstrasza is coming, though, against Warriors, so you can't really count on that high health total to last too long through these 10 mana turns. You also, I'm sure he's also wondering what the draw was from Ysera, too.
Yeah, he's got to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, I think you can write off the 7/6 Dragon at this point, but there's lots of other good stuff out there.
Well, he's still got that big game hunter that can deal with anything like the 7/6 Dragon or Alexstrasza or Rag or anything like that. I think taunt is okay.
I think you go for the 4/6 taunt, yep, because that's another, it's another thing that's going to be strong and live. Okay, he's going to go for the 4/4 charge, and he's going to trade.
He's afraid of Alexstrasza. That's the only thing that can mean.
I guess so, yeah.
Because the thing is, if you do play the Alexstrasza, you're basically probably dead the next turn. If they have Grosh, you're definitely dead. So he's just really trying to prevent damage at this point.
Makes sense. All right. Let's see.
Does he play the Alexstrasza?
Yeah.
I think so. He's at enough health that he can't die next turn.
I don't really see a drawback to playing Alexstrasza at this point. I mean, there's nothing really that Druid has that can deal with it effectively, aside from Big Game Hunter, which is also in the hand of Alchemixt. But not knowing that, for Darkwonyx, I would say Alexstrasza, because the thing is, you can be worried about Big Game Hunter, but as the game goes on, the likelihood of it being in the hand is only going to increase. It's not going to decrease. So you might as well play it while you have a turn to play it.
You might not know if he's playing it anyways. Like a lot of people have included it again since Pagel went away. I mean, not Pagel, but Tinkmaster.
Another thing as well is that between his Armor Smith and Shield Slam, he can play Alexstrasza, then Shield Slam, and then run his Armor Smith into the 2/4, which will be a 2/1 at that point, and get an armor out of it, clear the board, and have Alexstrasza. So.
Oh, wow. You are right about that.
Wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Looks
like he wants a Yeti, though.
Yeah. Oh, he's got 4 damage on Gorehowl as well, too. But that gets rid of his armor. And I mean, so, alright, so how is he going to use his Shield Slam here now?
Well, I guess he just saves it.
I guess he'll have a little bit more. Yeah, alright.
I don't think there's going to be a lot of charge minions coming into him, and the Shield Slam... Yeah, I mean, he's still going to get some sort of utility out of it, I think.
Yeah, alright.
Alright, there's the combo, but not enough damage. He can only do 14, so he's 8 off with that combo, which is actually quite a bit. And he doesn't have any really easy and good plays this turn.
No, I mean, he's got,
He may even want to use Force of Nature here, as gross as that seems.
Possibly. I mean, you could also, well, against Control Warrior, it's really risky, but I mean, you could go Big Game, Harvest Golem, and then Defender of Argus to get a strong board. But yeah, I know, I don't like it either. But
I think against Warrior Control, you have to
save the Big Game Hunter, yeah.
He's too powerful.
Do you just Hero Power and then Harvest Golem, Defender of Argus? Just to kind of get that stuff? I mean, he could clear the board pretty efficiently with Force of Nature as well, so... I guess you kind of have to go for that, but then you lose out on Savage Roar. It's just a really rough spot for Alchemixt.
I would consider, that sounds crazy, but the Force of Nature plus Defender of Argus, because then you can take out the Yeti and another one of the minions and still have a 2/3 on board.
Okay, that's interesting.
But, he actually is going for that first one that you said.
Oh, is he going to do it? Wow.
That's,
Now, I said that, but then I also said, but I don't think I would do that against Warrior because of all the big legendaries there. But he just wants to get that strong board. I mean, I think you would definitely call that, well, maybe you wouldn't call that a mistake because the thing is Darkwonyx is pretty low on health right now.
I would like to see. Well, you know what? Actually, this was brilliant. I'm so sorry. I'm dumb. Like, because he has these out. If some of this gets left over,
yeah, you can probably
plus he
just
uses
kill
the
him.
weapon possibly. Yeah, you can probably just kill him next turn.
Yeah. No, I think this is good. All right. So I think a lot of people, including us, would be too nervous to do that against Control Warrior, but Alchemixt, he's a bold man.
No. It makes perfect sense now that we think about it a little more.
Yep.
But he's going to go ahead and clear this right out, it looks like.
Yeah, I think
which is for sure the right play.
Yep, you have to. Definitely have to. And there goes the token, and there's Alexstrasza.
All right, so he's probably forcing him into using the combo this turn.
Yeah,
because otherwise he's dead. Wait, let's see what he draws, though.
And is it...
Yeah, Innervate.
No, it's not too helpful, no.
No, not really.
He can give himself one more attack with that. Yeah.
There's no point. Yeah.
Nope.
Well, I guess he could if he wants the extra armor, but I don't. I would save it just in case you draw an Ancient of Lore. You maybe play 2 big spells.
Pretty efficient clear, but I mean now you've got.
Wait, this is lethal, isn't it?
Draw match, yeah.
That's 9 plus 2, 11. Perfect.
Yep, that's it. Yeah.
Well, I guess he should have used that Innervate.
There you go. I guess so.
Well, he was dead.
You would have had the armor.
All right, so it looks like we're going to a game 7.
Awesome. First time we've done that in a while. It's pretty exciting.
Oh my god!
Wow.
We're gonna go to a game 7, and it could be a long one. Control Warrior against Control Warrior.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really get much longer than this. So let's look at the differences between these decks. Let's see. I'm just looking at these for the first time. Well, obviously, no Battle Rage in Alchemix deck. You know, not too surprising there.
He is playing a Gadgetzan.
Yeah, that's true.
That's kind of similar in some ways. It's like an extra card draw.
This is a 100% gold deck, too.
Yeah,
wow.
He's Alchemix definitely plays a lot of Hearthstone. He plays
I guess so.
Onyxia over Ysera, and I think that
I like that. I do, too.
That's an opinion thing. Yeah. It's like, which one do you actually prefer? Currently, I used to like Ysera more in it. Currently, I do like Onyxia a little bit more.
You were a big advocate for Ysera for a long time. But
I think she's, at this point, she's a little bit too slow. She's very circumstantial when you can play her.
Yeah.
I think Onyxia, it's just such a threat on the board. Ysera sometimes takes a few turns to be a real threat. She builds up over time, but anyways, I mean that's one thing to take a look at. What else do we have here? We do have the 2 executes and the 2 slams, so not really many differences other than that. Of course, the Baron Geddon is in there, but it's just like another big minion kind of.
Baron Geddon is good to have in there. Yeah, this deck is really similar to the one I'm running right now. The way I like to play Control Warrior. No Chillin' Yetis.
Yeah, that's actually for me is a gigantic deal in here. I think that is one of the most important cards in the mirror.
Really?
Because
the mirror, yeah.
The way that I generally like to play the Control Mirror in Control Warrior versus Control Warrior is trying to get out a good Frothing or a good Chillin' Yeti early on to draw out the removal of my opponent. Because if you look at the actual removal in a Warrior deck, Execute and Shield Slam, that's the real hard removal that kills stuff right off. And if you can draw 1 or 2 of those out between your Chillin' Yetis and your Frothing Berserkers, you are in a great spot. Because then later on your big minions are going to be so much harder to kill. So I got to look at these 2 decks, and I have to give a slight edge to Darkwonyx.
All right, well, coming down to the wire, and I mean, if Alchemix takes it, he'll only be the 3rd person ever to take 3 wins, 3 or more wins in the King of the Hill. So it's a big game for him, and
it is.
Credit to Darkwonyx for bringing it back, even if he loses it. It's been a great series.
It was looking like he was dead, but he's known for Control Warrior, and we said that in the beginning. Here he is with Control Warrior making this deep comeback. So
should be a great game.
All right, let's go ahead, start it up, and see who wins this King of the Hill. Here we go. Let's take a look at these hands. Alchemix up top, very late game oriented. Darkwonyx down bottom. Nothing too exciting either. The thing is, even if you're late game oriented, unless your opponent gets like a little bit of a quick start, well, with things like Frothing and Chillwind.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah.
I think it's fine to use your mana to play the Fiery War Axe here. I think armoring up is good as well too, but you don't have to worry about the axe going anywhere, you know?
I would...
Armor is okay. Yeah.
Personally, I would Fiery War Axe, just because the next turn I play Frothing and I want to be able to remove whatever is on the board.
Yeah, and buff up the Frothing too, so yeah, I agree. I probably would have War Axe myself too. But
you know, I think it's okay, because Darkwonyx kind of has his own warrior style as well. You know, he's someone that's played more of this deck than almost anyone, so he definitely has ways that he knows works.
We'll probably see these guys just armor up until they each hit like 50, you know?
Dude, warrior versus warrior, I have been in so many games where both of us have 50 health or more.
Yeah,
it's crazy. And then
it gets insane.
The Alchemixt come out and you're like, yeah, not a big deal, and you hit it with Gore Howl.
Exactly, I've got like 30 armor left, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yep, alright, well there's the Acolyte of Pain.
Well, this Acolyte was baited because he didn't play Fiery War Axe. I do want to throw that out.
Yeah, that is a good point. Okay, well that's a good reason to not play it.
Yeah, really definitely.
Alright.
So we should be seeing that, and I would imagine Armor Smith as well. No reason not to build the board at this point with these cards. But look at the hand of Alchemixt. He has like all late game.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
yeah,
only
all
late game.
Yeah.
So this is going to be like a tempo advantage for Darkwonyx. He's going to be able to really put a lot of pressure on.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
if Alchemixt comes out unscathed, he already has like all of his finishers.
Yeah, that's very true.
Oh my god!
What?
Are you joking me?
That's like nearly all of his legendaries in his hand right now. Wow.
I think it is all of them.
He's missing Alexstrasza.
He has Alexstrasza.
No, he's missing Gromesh.
Oh, okay, you got me. He is.
All right, there we go. Golden Fiery War Axe. And, alright, 3 damage, and he should be able to finish it.
Yeah, of course, He's going to go ahead and execute it. He has to.
Yeah.
And this is actually what you want to get out of your Frothing Berserkers, a move like that. That's
absolutely
grossly inefficient. I would call it a waste, but it's not, because he has nothing else going on. So...
Well, speaking of nothing going on, 1 damage there, armoring up. But that's okay. Darkwonyx can wait.
I would coin out Karn here, 100%.
Oh, of course, yeah.
It's just like, you need to get something. And Karn is this scary as something for Warrior. There's no way to deal with this guy well.
Yeah, and you can Faceless it next turn. It's pretty huge.
Gross, Della, you're gross. Why would you do such a thing?
Because I'm a bad person.
You are. Well, it looks like he's not going to be able to do that, because definitely Firework's going to go to the face here.
Yeah,
with Karn's face, that is.
Yeah.
Good play.
Big cow face.
Yes.
Yeah.
And of course, Darkwonyx played that perfectly there, and that will prevent Faceless. You're not going to Faceless it now, because you know he has Karn wanting to come out
I guess you just have to Faceless Baron Geddon.
Aww. That must suck. Yeah, this hand is a little bit lackluster.
Well, I mean, he can slam for the card draw, and he'd give his opponent armor, but whatever. You can finish off the axe.
I don't think you care about the armor, but then you have to use an axe, and you used your slam.
Here's a question: do you Gadget Zan, then Whirlwind, then Fiery War Axe to finish him off, and then do 4 to the face?
No, because if you do that, the axe kills the Gadget Zan because it goes down to 3 health.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
that is the
true.
deciding factor for me on that one.
We have like the thing covering over the axe, so I totally missed that. Yeah, it's easy to forget that that's there.
It's hard to fit the overlays you need into this game.
It is, yeah.
A hard game to observe, that's for sure.
They've been trying to figure out at OGN too, but yeah, it's pretty insane. I think Simon does a great job.
He does. He does the best out of everyone, I would say, in the entire world.
Oh, there's a shield slam. All right, well, that's one way to get rid of the Karn token.
Yeah, I guess so. There's not... I mean, he could execute it, or he could Whirlwind attack it. Whirlwind attack isn't too terrible, just because the Whirlwind is... It, like, isn't the most valuable card. It can be good in situations, but...
Yeah.
He's going to go ahead and...
It's tough to get an opportunity to shield slam things, late game. So I'd say, use that while you can, because the stuff like Whirlwind, execute, all that, that's going to be useful later in the game, whereas shield slam, not so much.
Well, here I would say Alchemixt just starts playing out his big stuff. Play the Baron Geddon. It looks like he's not going to, but I like to just throw something like Baron Geddon on the open board. He has no specific use against Warrior. I like to put him out there because, like, for instance, you just saw a shield slam on him.
Yeah.
Does he have another removal in his hand? I'm not sure, but this guy's 7 damage.
I think the thing is that you're worried at starting at a lower health total. So if something happens that makes him unable to attack, then you just kind of swing it. Well, you just lower the health ratio and still stay as far behind as you were. But
I see what you're saying.
I agree with you. I would have played the Baron Geddon that turn too, but I can kind of see why he doesn't want to. Oh, another Frothing Berserker as well. And I mean, again, these are cards that are going to get worse as the game goes on, so you might as well play them now.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's still, I'm looking back, and I think both of these guys have played fantastically, but I really think that Baron Geddon was better.
I agree. And, I mean, yeah, the thing is, too, is that, like, he could have played the Frothings after the Baron Geddon and buffed them up and had, like, more stuff for Darkwonyx to, you know, worry about. Yeah. All right. Well, he's just gonna attack.
Well, this works out perfectly.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
really utilized his Fiery War Axe and his high life total very well right there.
Well, now I suppose you play Alchemixt, huh? I mean, out of all the legendaries, I always like to go with Alchemixt first because you know, want to be able to get that life total down to where it's more manageable.
Totally.
Yep.
And the thing is, he'll probably deal with Alchemixt.
Yep.
But you know what?
Then you got a lot more stuff coming. Onyxia is pretty scary. Yeah.
Yeah, Onyxia is crazy, especially since... Have you seen both Whirlwinds already?
I was just wondering about that. Yeah, has he played both Whirlwinds? I can't remember off the top of my head, embarrassingly enough, but I think he might have. And either way, this is really scary. Okay, you've got Ragnaros, so...
Well, Faceless Cruel Taskmaster Execute seems like the obvious play.
I would agree, yeah.
And he can even armor up with that, which is pretty sick.
Yep. Yeah, that's definitely the best play.
Yeah, I mean, leaving an 8/8 on the board as well as a 2/2, that's pretty scary stuff.
Of course. Do it. It's. I can't think of anything else that would come remotely close to being as good as that. So, yep.
Yeah, no,
there you go.
Certainly not. Kind of an easy turn there.
Oh yeah.
And with 10 power on the board, that's some scary stuff for Alchemixt. What's he going to be able to do about it?
Even with the 6 armor. Let's see. He's got Slam Whirlwind. He's got Gorehowl. He's got his own Faceless as well. He could just remake Alchemixt again.
Well, there's a Shield Slam, so you can definitely kill that off.
Yeah, I would go. I would go Faceless, Faceless Slam, Shield Slam.
I would go Faceless Armor Up, Shield Slam.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to get the card draw?
I want to get the card draw, but I'd save it.
Okay.
Because, you know what?
Really?
It's only big minions from here.
Yeah, so why not use the Slam now? Because you're not going to be able to afford to use it with other things later.
I want to be able to proc damage on him.
I guess Gadget Zan is there too, so...
Yeah, that's true, that's true.
Yeah, that's a good...
I didn't think about that, but yes, that's true as well.
I like Gadget Zan, alright. Alright, so Alchemixt has been recreated again on the other side of the board. It's been very strange.
Pretty hilarious.
Everyone's cloning Alchemixt today, I guess.
Do you take the coin flip with Rag here, or do you take the
other
probably less than coin flip with the other coin flip with Brawl, or
I think
the less than coin flip with Shield Block?
Yeah, I mean, Shield Block you would still be taking damage. You lose all your armor.
Well, you might draw into removal though.
Yeah, that is possible, but he does have 2 executes, I suppose. So yeah.
Well,
it's a weird. But this is Warrior versus Warrior. It gets weird. I mean,
certainly.
You know, do you play your own Alchemixt and just leave your own 8/8 out there and be like, all right, bro, we'll just trade me? So
I would be so careful about that because at 16 health.
Oh yeah, you're right. He's down.
If he has Grommash plus some way to activate him, the game is over.
We're kind of going through all the options they could possibly do at this point, and some of them are obviously not as good. I like the Ragnaros personally. You get to armor up, you roll the dice, but that's okay.
I think you just have to. You have to take this coin flip. You have to hope he doesn't have Grommash if it doesn't work out your way.
Yep, I agree.
The thing is, you can always heal yourself with Alchemixt as well.
That
sucks.
That could be a problem. Yeah.
All right, let's see Alchemixt what you get.
All right, let's see. It's a good thing that Darkwonyx has that armor. Otherwise, 8+7 would be enough.
I tell you what. Onyxia would not be bad here.
No,
you fill up the board. The Rag is going to be almost useless.
Yeah.
But the Brawl is out there, so that's actually scary as well. So maybe you won't do that.
Slam.
Now that I think about it. Gets a Shield Slam. Oh, that's enough. Yeah, because he has Shield Block.
Yep.
So Shield Block, Armor Up, Shield Slam. Bam. Done.
Alchemixt does not have. Oh, he does have Shield Block. It came out of his hand earlier. Okay, yeah, there we go. All right. Never mind. Yep. Sweet. Wow, that was a really good turn.
Yeah, that's pretty powerful. And look at him at 29 life against now 10.
I think he may have this one. I mean, Alchemixt, he has the draw, but even if he Alchemist's himself, there's Gorehowl in the hand for Alchemixt, and he can still kill him. Yep.
Well.
All right. So let's see. Anything you do.
You probably just armor up here.
Yeah. You have to shield block.
And if it doesn't work, if it doesn't draw anything, you can Brawl and just take that coin flip.
Yep, I think so too.
Always fun.
Oh yeah. What's it gonna be? You gotta do it. There you go, Armor Smith.
Okay, play Armor Smith and Brawl.
Exactly. Yep. 2 out of 3 chance to keep your minions.
Of course, you attack him for 2.
Attack through first. Yep.
Yeah. Well, you know what? He has a good chance here that Brawl's going to get rid of
We'll find
this.
out last one in wins.
Oh, well,
no!
That is
Oh,
bad.
Alex Strauss is coming back.
Well, 1/3 of the time, that's going to be what happens.
Yep, that's right.
He knows that he's probably dead here, and in fact, he is dead.
60% of the time, it works every time. Yep. All right, well, with Gorhal, yes.
Gorhal
Plenty.
and or Rag.
And or Rag, yeah. Gorhal's a
And-
classy way, though. You want to strike the killing blow with your own weapon and give them an honorable death, you know?
Indeed. So, Alchemixt takes it 4-3 over Darkwonyx. All right, kind of crazy, man. It looks like Alchemixt, a 3-time champion, take out Darkwonyx, a well-fought series overall.
Yeah, I mean, Darkwonyx was able to bring it to Game 7, but in the end, the Warrior mirror went Alchemix's way, and yeah, really cool series overall, though. That was definitely one of the better ones we've had in a while.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and we have to point this out again. We've said it before, but Alchemix is now tied with Reels from Team Mana Grind, same team as Darkwonyx, for second most wins in King of the Hill ever.
Yeah.
So he is actually at 3 wins, and if he wins one more, he's tied with Savitz.
Yeah,
And that's crazy.
I know. I thought it was going to be longer than this before we saw anyone come close to challenging Savitz's record, but Alchemix already doing it. You know, I mean, if he wins next week, he will actually tie that record. So, pretty cool stuff.
I can't wait to see if he can do it. So, I guess that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. We will be back next week and see if Alchemix can do it. Can he tie Savitz and be our biggest ever King of the Hill?
We'll see. See you next time, guys.